Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! Today it's going to be a match between Jaedong and Sky here on Aztec. Cast a couple of games between these two players already, but those are both on Benzene. If you missed them, ask me for the link and I will supply it to you. And really, I read every single comment and I will respond to you if you ask me a question. And if you want to leave me a comment, it will help me get noticed by YouTube and grow the channel. Alright, so, bottom left-ish on Aztec. It's a weird map. We have the Teal Protoss player, Sky, who is serious business good at this game. Also, did get banned for match fixing once upon a time. Forever. And at the top side of the map, about the 12 o'clock, we have the blue Zerg player, Jaedong. Should be good. Should be excellent. Should be a wonderful game. I'm very excited to cast it. Hit that like button if you are excited. Yeah, Aztec is a weird map. It just is. I mean, like, consider that Fighting Spirit is your most standard map, right? Aztec, not standard. First of all, you have the old school, hey, let's live in a pit style of your starting main base that all the maps had back in the day. Then you come up to your natural base, which is here. Got a weird fan thing here. Your third base can kind of be this minerals only thing, or you can take this, but it's more exposed. I mean, there's just a lot of options here. You have this kind of tricycle, not really tricycle, but tri-thing here, which reminds me of a fidget spinner, which this predates fidget spinners by quite a bit. So I don't think that's what it is. Anywho, who's scouting? Ah, the probe scout went the right way here on this three-player map. Did see the overpool opening here from Jaedong. Going to be a little bit aggressive with these Zerglings, or maybe just defensive. Just trying to be defensive against the potential of a pylon popping up in between the hatchery and these minerals here and messing with the mining actions of these drones. La 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 la, forge on the way because there's earlylings coming. I mean, you want to get a forge anyway. Even if it's a hatch first play, you usually get a forge and then you go into a nexus, but you can get away with going for nexus first if your opponent goes hatch first. It's just a little bit more risky. Anyway, pylon block here at the natural base. Recognizing there's not an easy third base to take here for Jaedong. Sky is being so annoying. Like, stupid amounts of annoying here. I mean, this third base is it's just so wide open. So hard to defend. So he's going to wait until the lings show up. Knock down this pylon. There's going to be a cancel on said pylon. To get the money back. At least some of it. There's the cancel, and there's the hatch. At about 15 supply. Oh, hang on. Doesn't have the resources quite for it yet. And the lings are going to come back and deal with the probe. So annoying. I mean, the probe is scouting, among other things. If he saw early gas, he would know it's going to be some speedling shenanigans. If he saw gas into a lair, he would know some really fast Scourge, probably, which is what Jaedong's going to likely go for anyway here. But, alright, so probe down. Hatch on the way. Nexus on the way. 2 cannons up. And a gateway. 2 cannons feels maybe a little bit overkill, but, you know, it's a fairly wide area to wall off here. The lings can kind of come through and up around this way, so fine. 2 cannons. We'll roll with it. And a third base coming up down south. Ah, he got this one first. Ah, Jaedong. Remember when I was like, there's not an easily accessible third base? Jaedong said, shut up, Falcon. There's a base down here I can take. No problem. I was going to take it anyway for my third, so you can leave me alone. Yeah, absolutely. It is is this? No. So this is the high ground. Okay, this is kind of messing with my brain. This is the third spawn location's natural base. He just expanded to. Which is how you want to do it if you're doing it against a Protoss. You want this low ground creeped up and sunken up against Zealot attacks. If it's a Terran opponent, then, well, first of all, you want to be going up a ramp into the base. I don't know how this works if you're playing against a Terran. I need to see a ZVT on this map, which I don't think I ever have. It's largely just been ZVPs here on Aztec, if I remember properly, or PVTs. It's kind of a different matchup that way. Probe doesn't get to scout, man. Get out of here. And this is actually a fairly easily accessible base, too. I kind of like this map for Jaedong. He's going for his lair. Hydralisk Den is done. He could just go for Hydras to deal with the oncoming... Well, I was going to say oncoming Corsairs, but I don't see a Stargate yet. There it is. Oncoming Stargate, or he could go for the Spire and get the Scourge. He has the options for both. Man, I know I talked about this recently, but I loved Day9's little rant about ZVP that he posted on his YouTube channel a couple of weeks ago now. I mean, it's the only StarCraft content he's posted in a couple of years now, which is a bummer. I love it so much, but he just talked about how Bisu's the one that came up with the idea to go for Corsairs. Corsairs were not used in Brood War. They could only hit other air units. They were considered garbage. And then Bisu's like, you know what? As the Zealot positioning is really good from Sky. You know what? We can absolutely kill 2 kills, 3 kills, and down. We can kill Overlords with this. We can deny scouting with this. By killing Overlords, we can deny supply. And then it changed the whole meta. It changed the whole matchup. And Zerg players really struggled against it for a long time and still sort of do. As we will see these Corsairs probably get 1 or 2 Overlords, which does slow down the Zerg player quite a bit. The Hydras are trying to take down this gateway. They found a position to do it, which is beautiful stuff. Citadel of Adun coming in from Sky. Also, he is working on a robotics facility. Now, this is what sets apart the good players from the bad players. The good players, they're getting attacked like this, and they're also macroing back home. They're also making probes. They're also teching up. They're getting additional cannons. But Ling Hydra, not a bad combination at all against Zealots. But somebody like me, for example, would just be panicking because there are Hydras shooting down my front door, and I'd forget to tech up. I would forget to probe up, and I would subsequently lose. But these players, nope, they're too good for that. Corsair flying around trying to see what's what, as Aspire is on the way from Jaedong. A little bit of some Hydra defense here. Not a crazy amount of Hydra defense, but enough to make the Corsair think about it. Because a Hydra will kill a Corsair in fewer shots than a Corsair will kill an Overlord. That is established fact. So just a little bit of Hydra defense. Maybe don't go crazy with it. If you see Corsairs coming your way, Zerg players, just do what Jaedong does. And you shall be exceptionally pleased. So I went through and looked at my Jaedong cast the other day, and I saw a Jaedong versus Stork game that I cast. It's from WCG 2009, the quarterfinals. And it has like 7,000 views. Which, I don't know, that's a lot. That is a good number of views for my channel, for sure. That's more than average. But I have other Jaedong casts that are like 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 views. And trying to figure out what it is. You guys love Stork. You love Jaedong. Is it just length of game? Like, if a cast is 23 minutes instead of 30 minutes, will you guys just not click on it? I kind of feel like that's what's going on. But I could be wrong. And that's why I'm asking. I like to ask people what's happening rather than making assumptions, although I don't always do that. There's things we can all work on. Scourge cruising on in, cruising on in. I don't know why that song comes to my head every time I say cruising on in. But this is a good ball of Corsairs. I think it's 4. Oh, it's 3 with another one. I could have sworn there were 4, but maybe a Corsair got one of them. Look out, Corsairs. You got to move on. There's Scourge about. They are the same speed as you. They will not catch you in a straight line, but if you want to keep changing angles like that, it's pretty scary stuff. I saw you, Shuttle. I saw you, DT Shuttle, coming out here. Obviously, DT's in play right now. Is there anything to defend against DT's dropping inside your main base? The answer is no. There's a bunch of Hydras at the natural, but nothing in the main. Let's go, Dark Templar. Get on in there, get some stuff done. How many drone kills are we going to get? Well, 2, 3, 4... Back to the shuttle. Run. And he keeps him alive. Wait, what? Oh, he juked him. He's like, hey, why don't you get the shuttle? I'm going to juke. Why would he do that? He really should have probably... I don't know. Maybe he couldn't lift up. Maybe the Hydra count was so high that lifting up was not an option for him. Obviously, there's a 4th base down here. We saw that earlier from Jaedong. He's kind of been allowed to do whatever he wants here. The harassment has not been all that great from Sky. He's doing all the right things. It's just not working out for him, which... sometimes is how it is in StarCraft, man. You can execute your plan really well, but when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, if the other player kind of prepares for it adequately and responds a little bit better than you, then you're toast. Get to work, drones. There you go. That is the one thing, man. StarCraft 2, when you make workers, they automatically go to mine where you told them to. It is the biggest time saver of all time. I mean, if you're just a Brood War player, you probably don't even notice that you're doing it, but man, it's so useful. Scourge down. 3rd base coming up from Sky here, but Jaedong's already on 4 bases, and I kind of feel like Jaedong has this game not in the bag. We're only 9 minutes in here, for heaven's sakes, but he's got a Hive coming in. Just the fact that he hasn't had to replace that many drones has allowed him to get up to Hive tech, has allowed him to get upgrades going, has allowed him to take a 4th base. I mean, I've cast games of Jaedong's in the past where he's lost 10 or 12 drones in the first 10 minutes, and that slows you down. He's just not been slowed down in this game at all. He's definitely going for Defilers now, going for that Consume. He's going to get Dark Swarm because that's the game changer. And look, Psionic Storm is really good, and without it, Protoss would probably lose. On the same vein, Dark Swarm is really good, and without it, Zerg would probably lose every PvZ they ever played, especially if it got into the late game. So if you're complaining about how overpowered Storm is and Swarm is, again, without them, Zerg and Protoss just die. So, I don't know. How do we balance it? I don't know. Maybe make Storm a little stronger? Maybe make Storm a little weaker. Maybe make Dark Swarm last a little bit shorter time period. I don't know. We're never going to see a balanced patch to StarCraft, I don't think. The hardcore fans would go nuts. They'd riot in the streets. And plus, I don't think Blizzard has a team. I don't know. I don't know that they have a team ready to rock that could sit down and be like, okay, what do we do? And have enough intelligence and background and experience with the game to make it happen, as sad as that is. I don't know. Maybe you'd get Artosis and Tasteless in there to provide some thoughts. Day 9, obviously. Obviously get a ton of Korean caster interpretation. The Korean pros could sit down and give their thoughts too. Foreigners could help. I don't know. Maybe it'd be like a big community effort. That said, I don't think it's ever happening. So, yeah. Psionic Storm's on the way. Adrenal Glands are coming in. Nidus Canal on the way just for reinforcements. I don't see Defiler mount yet, which concerns me as a Zerg player. We're not seeing Defilers yet. But yeah, this has been a fairly calm macro-style game. 12 minutes in. It's 114 supply for Sky, 106 for Jaedong. Jaedong is going to pull ahead here in just a second. There's that. There's that Defiler round. Coming up inside the main base, working on plus missile attacks, working on plus melee attacks, working on plus some ground weapons for the Protoss. Psionic Storm just about done. Game changer spell there. I'm honestly shocked Jaedong hasn't just tried to take this base. Is he really just that worried about the army he wants to hold the top ramp? Because you can, especially if Storm doesn't exist. It's really easy to hold a ramp coming up against the Protoss army if there are no Reavers in Storm here. But Storm is done. Consume is on the way. Shuttle speed. Yep, shuttle speed's coming in too. Loving that out of Sky. Free Archon just donated to the cause there. When you have an Archon in the front and there's like 18 Hydralisks, that Archon dies. Storm up, trying to dodge as best he can. That was a really good dodge here. Didn't take hardly any damage at all from that Psionic Storm. It is so hard. It is so, you cannot perfectly storm dodge against somebody as good as Sky is. It's not going to happen. Got a 4th base warping in now. That is the warping in sound. Lings are trying to wreck this 4th base, but there are cannons here and zealots here, and the Nexus is going to live. Even if these cannons all die, which they will, because these are Adrenal Gland Zerglings with 1/1. And that's something I've tried to implement into my gameplay too. I've started to get Adrenal, even if my 3/3 is not finished. I used to think that Adrenal was if I didn't have also 3/3 on those Zerglings, but you know what? Go for Adrenal as fast as you can. It's one of the better upgrades in the entire game. Did he misplace that pylon? He has to depower his own. These cannons are depowering themselves by killing this pylon. That's hilarious. And then a new pylon is on the way. Another base. Okay, so now taking this kind of minerals-only base over here for Jaedong. He is going to be making a lot of Zerglings. Having a minerals-only base is good. But Sky's got Reaver production coming in. This Reaver Storm Archon thing is something that we've seen Jaedong struggle against many, many times. But time for a Lurker Link drop with Defiler support. Is there any Storm or Reavers here? There is some Storm here. Actually, yeah, that's some good Storm. Ready? Ready, go! So Storm up north, but no additional Storms available. So this base is... the Zealots are doing pretty well against the Zerglings. The Lurkers are a problem, but they're not inside the Dark Swarm. Wow, that was actually really well defended by Sky. It's not often I've seen a base survive that sort of thing, but he just had enough Zealots here to handle the Zerglings. The Lurkers popped up outside of the Dark Swarm. It didn't really matter because there were Zealots anyway. So sometimes having Zealots can be enough. Coming up that ramp is not advised. That drop, largely getting massacred. Coming up the ramp is, again, not something you want to do. That's pretty well held by Sky. Yeah, very nicely done. Simultaneously dropped and trying to come up the ramp and kill stuff, but no, says Sky. Staunchly keeping this 4th base, staunchly keeping the 5th base, well, location available. Jaedong at 151 and 155 total supply, but he's making Hydras and Lings non-stop out of his million hatcheries. He's taking the 12 o'clock base, which is the no gas expansion for that 3rd location that spawns. Metasynaptic node on the way for Defilers, which is an excellent, excellent concept. Sky coming down to the south. Kind of trying to poke on in here. But rightly worried about Defiler Dark Swarm. The Defilers are here. Nidus is another thing that really helps Zerg a lot. Just the instant transfer of reinforcements. Good storm drop, though. Not bad. Not incredible, but not terrible. That was a bit of a whiff. Any more storms available? Actually, yes. Ooh, that was almost disastrous for Jaedong there. Ling's trying to flank in an attack, but there are Zealots, and they have +2 attack. The Lings are 2/2 themselves with Adrenal Glands, which makes them very good. 64 to 56 total workers. Sky's macro has been through the roof great here. Probably has as many workers as he's going to get in this game, if I had to guess. And this right side, another base that Jaedong has been trying to take. Zealots are going to shut that one down. Might even possibly finish and die. Jaedong's response time to it should be good, though. Right, you should cancel that thing before he lets it finish. No, Jaedong says. You can have that whole base. All right, fair enough, I guess. Wow, that was bad. Reaver production continuing. I haven't seen any Reavers today except for the ones inside this shuttle, which has shown up to keep this 5th base alive. So yeah, Jaedong has done what he can here to try to take down a base, but he's not been able to. Meanwhile, he's lost an entire hatchery. Defiler just outside of the Dark Swarm there. 1-2 go down. Ling's trying to come up this ramp, but with the number of Reavers present, you know what? It doesn't even matter. Huh. So Ling Hydra coming in, trying to get something happening at this left side base for Sky. The storm is up. The Reavers are up. Ah, Reaver hits huge. Nice play. Ooh, tossing down that delicious strawberry jam, getting tossed down on those Protoss units. Zergling's trying to fight, but that storm was really good. And some more Zerg units trickling in, but a bit more than a trickle as one of the Reavers gets taken out. The other one gets taken out. The shuttle goes down. This might be a lot more effective than I thought. Is this more storm drops? 2 kills there. 8 kills there. My gosh. The storm drops accomplishing things here. And Sky is hanging on to these bases. My goodness, Sky. 155 to 134 supply. I would say that Sky is in the lead here. He's got his 5th base done. I mean, Jaedong is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bases. Yes, he's very scary, but I guess we're technically this is a 6th for Sky. This Lurker's got 2 kills and he's gone. He gone. Lurker dropped down south, handled pretty ably by that Archon. And 25 and 16 kills on these Archons. Holy crap. They do bring kills with them from their High Templar days before they merge, but that's a lot of kills for each of those Archons. Again, this guy just, or rather, Jaedong saving this base for later. I feel like he's just kind of saving this base for later. 58 drones, 64 probes. No more probes in production. Again, it just feels like Sky's pretty happy where he is economically. Scourge almost took down that shuttle, or at least got a hit off on it, which would have been disastrous because there are 2 Reavers in there. And Sky's entire purpose in life seems to be to destroy this right side base, which does get canceled before it finishes this time. Jaedong's attention a little bit closer here. These Archons trying to run back to safety, the safety of these multiple High Templar, all with storms available. Jaedong trying to jump on into this left side base, or maybe get a surround in the middle here. Ling's just getting as many hits as they can off on the Reavers, but there are 4 of them here. I am not convinced this is a great idea. By Jaedong, he's doing his best. The Lurker's helping with these Zealots a little bit. Another storm drop down south. Shuttle gets on out of there. The green is not super easy to see on this map. I'm going to do better here because these are not stopping at all. Again, Sky is the one that, he's been the storm dropper on the channel, I want to say. He's done more storm dropping. Ooh, that was a good hit right there, too, than anybody else in PvZ that I can recall. Like, even more than Bisu. Bisu really loves the storm drops, but Sky. Sky is our storm dropper, at least as far as PvZ is concerned. It's pretty even on army count here. Dark Swarm comes up. Storms are plentiful. Nice plague going down. Storm on the right side. Hydra's trying to snipe down one of these cannons, and they do end up getting the cannon here. Lurker's fairly well protected. High Templar trying to come down to additionally Storm. And they do manage to get another one down. A lot of Hydras die right there on the front lines. But the Nexus, I think, might actually end up staying. Oh, is that inside the Dark Swarm? Sometimes what's inside the Dark Swarm is questionable. Oh, nice Reaver hit there, taking it down. That Reaver's like, come on in. The water's great. Alright, sniping a High Templar, and a Reaver goes down. That was big for these Hydras and Lings. And now the evacuation comes in, and now the first Nexus of the day is going to go down. Jaedong, fantastically well played there. Trying to come up a ramp where there's a Reaver is highly, highly questionable activity. Especially if there are Zealots there to engage. Nicely done. Yeah, this is just set it and forget it here. Those guys are all completely dead. I think DT tried to come over this way, but there's detection and Hydras, rather. Ooh, a Greater Spire. What? Since when do we get Greater Spires? Why would you make Guardians? Don't do it, Jaedong. Don't make Guardians against Protoss. Storm is really good against them. Also, Corsairs. 8 Mutalisks. Okay, so we're doing something with it. Devourers would be cool, but I'm not sure what your targets are going to be. It's gotta be a Guardian tech switch here from Jaedong, which again, I do not support. I don't feel good about this, but Jaedong is the best Zerg player of all time, and as a result, I will allow him to do what he needs to do without complaining. What he believes he should do. Where are those Mutalisks anyway? Oh, here they are. Observer gets sniped here. Sky hasn't been able to replace this 6th base of his, which does not bode well. And see this High Templar? He's like, I see what's happening. Nice cancel. Forces a cancel on the Guardians. They do get their full HP back when they finish that morph process. And Jaedong's attempt to take the hatchery down here, not going super well, as it is forced to be canceled. So there are 6 Guardians in production. This High Templar has enough energy for a couple storms. Well, almost enough for a couple storms. Enough for 1 storm and very close to 2. Again, up a ramp, not recommended for anybody in StarCraft. Coming in from multiple directions, and that is how you can handle Reavers sometimes. coming in from different directions. The Reaver is down. The Guardians are kind of trying to figure out what they want to do, but guess what? What did I say about Corsairs and Storm? Did I say something about Corsairs and Storm? I did. Guardians just have two good answers. Like, everything has an answer. That's what makes StarCraft so good, but, man, Guardians just have really hard counters to them. 192 to 142 supply, though. Jaedong, his macro has just been through the roof here. It's just been too much. Oh, nice Plague. Reaver down. Suddenly, Sky's at 124 supply. Suddenly, he's fleeing for his life right now. I'm going to assume all the Guardians... Oh, no, they're over here. Yeah, they're all over here. Are they not even... I guess they're going to hang out. So this base that is still down here for Sky is an incredibly big problem for him. He's on 5 bases, but really only this bases and this base are mining right now. So 2 mining bases to effectively like 5 or 6 from Jaedong. And this natural has also got a lot of resources on it because of how many storm drops have gone up there. It's kind of an unintentional benefit for Jaedong. The Corsairs looking for overlords, but the Scourge are looking for you. Lings and Hydras against largely Zealots. Great Storm. Beautiful Storm, but does it matter? Suddenly it's 187 to 108 total supply. If he can't establish this base, he's just going to get out-macroed and out-crushed by the wave of Zerg here. And Jaedong, Reaver shot, but Reaver down. Guardians in the mix. Guess what can't hit Guardians? Yeah, that's right. Dark Templar, baby. It's in this. Nothing's in that shuttle. He's going to send DTs out, try to get something done with them. But are the Guardians actually going to be part of the win condition here for Jaedong? I don't know that I've ever seen that. Okay, well, now, okay, now, I jinxed it. I really did. The Guardians were going to be a part of the win condition, and then they're not anymore because they're all dead. But it doesn't matter. It's too much Jaedong anyways. Sky, GG's out in 27 minutes and 34 seconds. Yeah, I really just think it came down to the fact that there wasn't enough damage done early to Jaedong. He was able to get 4 or 5 bases up pretty much easy peasy. Yes, the storms were damaging. The storm drops were really good from Sky, but by that point there was so much larva and so much income that Jaedong was able to easily replace his drones as much as he wanted to. And then just the sheer number of hatcheries that he has in the game. He lost this one a couple times, but other than that, he never lost a hatchery, which is a huge deal. And then just denying this base a couple times was enough to get the win. Never killed this base, never killed this base, but it didn't really matter. Just not enough damage from Sky on the other end there, and Jaedong gets the win. Nicely done. I think it's been a while since we've seen a Jaedong win in a macro-style game. I think Sky has beat him before. So it's not like this is an unfair advantage, but yeah, man, Jaedong gets the late game ZVP win. Huzzah! For all Zerg fans in the chat, hit that like button if you enjoyed that match. All right, 251,000 points for Jaedong, 232 here for Sky. Sitting on 900 Zerg units produced, 906, and only lost under 600 of them. That is insanity. That is so much of an army at the end of the game. I mean, Zerglings count for 2 Zerglings count as 1 supply, so fair enough. Or does that count as units? I think that's probably units. How does this math make sense? It's got to be Zerglings count as 2. Constructed buildings, I ended up raising 1 Zerg building. That was that 1 hatchery, lost 20, which is massive. And then resources, check this out. 3,000 more mined gas for Jaedong. A total of 6,000 more minerals mined and a total of 7,000 more spent. You're not beating Jaedong if you have these numbers. You're not doing it as a Protoss player. Not possible. Great job by him. And that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.